On this episode of the Naturist Living Show, Reddit.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show is brought to you by Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. At Bear Oaks, we offer traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Free your body, free your mind. www.bearoaks.ca.
Welcome, dear listener, to episode 92 of the Naturist Living Show. My name is Stéphane Deschênes, and I'm your host for this podcast, and I'm also the owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park. And on this particular episode, we're going to talk about Reddit. If you haven't heard of it, Reddit is a news-sharing, aggregator, social media kind of bulletin board site. Hard to describe if you haven't used it, but you'll learn more about it. I was contacted a little while ago by Forrest, and he had started and he was working very hard on a subreddit on nudism. And he was a fan of what we were doing and what I was doing, and he wanted our involvement. And I was hesitant at first because we're already involved in so much social media. It takes a lot of time, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Instagram, LinkedIn. Anyway, I could go on. We're everywhere. We weren't on Reddit, and there's no point in being on a social media if you're not going to be posting and using it. But Reddit's an interesting concept, and I've been intrigued by it for a lot of reasons. So it didn't take a lot of convincing. I just had to learn a little bit more about how to use it. And so I asked Forrest if he would come on the show and tell us more about what it's all about and how to use it and why you should care. So here he is.
Hey, I'm Forrest. I am one of the head moderators on Reddit. It's a nudism page. I've been a nudist for I'd say about 10 years. I've only been with doing social nudity for 2 or 3 years, going to resorts. But I've taken over the Reddit page, trying to spread naturism to the younger generation who uses more social media accounts and stuff like that. I'm from Northern Virginia, near D.C. I actually live 20 minutes from Avalon Resort in West Virginia. So it's nice to be able to just drive up the road there, but I also have 5 acres of land at my house where I usually spend most of my time.
Oh, very nice. The Avalon is actually, I haven't been, but I've heard that it's a really nice place.
Oh, yeah. They have like 140 acres, hiking trails and everything. It's a great place up there.
Awesome. So Reddit, I would say that not everybody who's listening will have heard of Reddit. So do you want to describe it a little bit? Would you consider it to be social media?
Yeah, I definitely consider it to be social media, but it's different along the lines of Facebook or even traditional. I also put along the lines of like a traditional message board too, a little more anonymous than using like Facebook or stuff like that or Twitter. So that all people who might not want people to know that they're a naturist can go on there and they can ask questions and that kind of stuff. But there's definitely a social media type experience with people all over the world and that kind of stuff.
So you're obviously a fan of Reddit. Why do you think it's better than Facebook or Twitter or any of the more mainstream ones?
Yeah, I used to run a Facebook page as well. Nudism is the way forward on Facebook. I stopped doing that mainly because the type of people you see on these sites. We see a lot more younger of an audience. Like 50% of our users are under 35, which compared to other naturist resorts and stuff like that, the higher age groups are the norm everywhere. So I like using Reddit just because it's more of a younger generation using it.
Yeah, and the people that I know that use Reddit use it very much as a news source, which I don't think that people necessarily use Facebook for their news. They might use Twitter for news, but Reddit as well is kind of a news source. Can you explain how it works and why it is that?
Yeah, it's different users from all over the world sharing information and discussions for anything, not even just nudism. There's sites for any TV show you want, that there's for your town, anything on Reddit. So there's people from all different walks and ways of life. So it's nice to be able to get different points of views and stuff. And then the news itself comes in from small sources, individual bloggers, and that kind of stuff. So it's a nice central place to get everything, and it's filtered by moderators, heavy rules from Reddit, and the different pages to make sure it's a safe place for everybody.
So they're organized in groups, right? The pages anybody can start one, which is officially called a subreddit, right?
Correct. Yeah, subreddit. Ours is just nudism. Reddit.com/r/nudism, and it's that there. Like I said, different ones there's a naturist one that's actually not being worked on right now. I've also taken over. They had like teen nudists and college nudists, and those were sites that were being flooded by other users. And you'll see, even like I said, on Facebook and sites, there's the people are sometimes weird, and that's what I don't like about some social media. Is when I was on Facebook, you have them private messaging people asking for pictures, and that's not what naturism's about. Where we're able to more enforce the rules and stuff on there.
Yeah, it's a problem with youth. Whenever you do youth stuff on the internet, it's always a problem. Going back 20 years or so, when I was myself, depending on your definition, more on the youth side, there was a group in Canada called the Young Canadian Naturists, and they had a website because they wanted to be online. And it was horrifying to see the stuff they had to deal with when they were the people that were running it, especially the women, because it just seemed to attract every perv in the universe going, hey, send me your picture, show me how much of a naturist you are, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that also comes to another fact, like with when you search naturism or you search nudism on Google or Yahoo or Bing, the first thing that comes up, I don't want to name the sites, but there are a bunch of picture sites out there that aren't the best representation of naturism or nudism.
No, I agree. I agree. I mean, since the beginning of our movement, the exploiters have pretended to be us. But, if you're selling access to a database of, 100,000 pictures of naturists, which in those sites, it's almost all young women, that's not naturism. But they call themselves that, right?
Well, I wouldn't even say, they call themselves naturism, but it's not just women. The main thing I've seen on these sites is it focuses a lot on kids, which is it's disgusting. I don't know how, I understand there's nothing wrong with pictures and stuff like that, but when there's sites, catering, hey, you have to pay to see these pictures, it kind of makes it more sexual or that kind of stuff. And they're definitely not naturists. They're exhibitionists, and
they're pandering to a fairly sick individual. And yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with the picture, and that's the problem. But it's not the picture; it's how they are selling them and how they are promoting the whole thing. And then they're calling themselves naturists or nudists, which is really offensive. But that started, early 20th century. It started with magazines doing the same thing. When the early naturists and nudists won the right in the U.S. and other places in the world to publish pictures because this was an actual movement with an idea under free speech, immediately you had all these magazines come out that say, oh, yeah, we're a nudist magazine. But they weren't published by nudists. They were published by publishers who saw that they could peddle flesh under that term and it wouldn't be illegal. And the same thing still happens online. It's but anyway, we digress. So that doesn't happen on Reddit, at least not on your page, right?
No, we stick strict TNS and ANR rules. Make sure it's a family friendly place for not even just nudists, but textiles who want to come and find out more about naturism and nudism and what it is, what it isn't. But it's a great place. Like I said, not just because you have the older nudists, you also have people who have families. You have people that have been raised as naturists, where like a lot of sites, like Facebook pages and the message boards, You'll find a lot of people, just like we said before, the creeps out there that are just kind of just like trying to see the pictures and trying to just message people, trying to,
Unlike on Facebook, where you definitely can't. Can you post nudity on Reddit?
You can. They do have their porn subreddits and stuff like that. But on our subreddit, we do not allow picture-only posts on there. We do allow pictures to be posted, but we make sure that they're not focused on genital areas. They're trying to capture the events as a whole, not just a naked person. And we ask that they come with a story with it too, so you don't have a flood of just pictures of naked people everywhere. You actually have, hey, this is the event we went to, this is what we did at the event, these are pictures of all the stuff that we did. So we like to have more of a story to the pictures that we allow on the site, instead of just being flooded with a whole bunch of different.
But you don't actually post a picture to Reddit, right?
No, you can.
Oh, you can.
But it only gets shared. It's shared in that one subreddit.
Okay, I thought you had to have the picture uploaded somewhere else. You can't actually upload a picture to Reddit itself.
Correct. Yeah, they just added a upload feature until at least their mobile app, which is what most people have been using.
Ah, good. Well, see, I've learned something today. I did not know that. So when you look at Reddit, by the way, which for people listening is with 2D, reddit.com, to Reddit/nudist instead of nudism, there is a community that's been banned. So there are rules and reasons that it gets banned.
Correct. And a lot of it too is like I said before, we'll shut down. I've gone back and shut down Reddits. So I've taken over, like college nudists and the teen nudist stuff, and have them so they refer people straight to our nudism. So that's what I'm personally focused on right now, is taking over our nudist, our naturist, and our naturism, and trying to get everything focused onto one without having, again, the Google thing where people search naturism and you get the bad results.
True. Yes. The /nudist, I don't know if you know about that one, was banned for violating the Reddit rules. So there, you can go too far and do things that are inappropriate, right? Do you know what those rules might be that would get you banned?
The only thing I can think of is if they're posting underage kind of stuff. But I haven't personally seen anything like that recently on any other sites. So
can you not post pictures of like my family picture on vacation to Reddit?
I would say it was more focused on those like his image sites, like I was saying, like the pictures of just kids and stuff like that is probably what it was. They don't have a thing against normal nudity, but when it was focusing on just kids being in the pictures, I think that must have been a different thing for Reddit's mods.
So what are the challenges that you face at running a page like this?
Really, just time, taking care of the users. We spend a lot of time collecting information on different events, going out gathering news, trying to get in contact with the different like ANR, TNS, and stuff like that. Just trying to get a more constant flow of updated information out to the users. But that's mainly probably the biggest thing is getting in contact with the heads of ANR and TNS to try to do stuff with them. But trying to find the events, taking care of the users, banning people who are there for the wrong reasons is probably one of the biggest works that we do and spend a lot of time on.
Well, that's got to be very time consuming.
Yeah. Luckily I have a job where I call it a really nice, sweet job. I sit around and watch TV and play video games all day. But my official title is a salesperson. So luckily for me, I am able to spend a lot of time on Reddit and policing it to make sure it is a nice, safe area for everyone to go.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're actually not just editing it, but you're actively trying to promote it and to get content for it as well.
Yeah, and one of the things we do every week is we have a general thread on there, and we have a discussion every week. Like this week's what can resorts and clubs do differently to grow attendance. But under those general threads, we also share different posts around Reddit. So on Ask Reddit or that kind of stuff, people are asking questions about naturism. So I like to, share those with our users in a single post where people can go there and help talk to those people that are asking questions, not even just on our nudism, but on other subreddits around the community.
That's good. Now, you said it's a younger audience. Would it be fair to say that it's also a slightly geekier audience? And I mean that in a good way. I'm definitely a geek myself.
I would maybe a few years ago I would say it was geekier. Reddit right now. I was doing some stuff before we started talking, looking at their numbers and stuff. It's the number 7 most visited website in the United States, and then the number 22 in the world. So I definitely think it's not just geeks anymore. Mm-hmm. But most of our users, like I said, 51% of our users are under 35, and that's actually below what Reddit's are, which is close to 75% are under 35. But so I definitely think that's nice with their range compared to a lot of communities out there, with it being the older audience and reaching out to the younger generation.
The group you have, you don't have to actually be signed up to look at it. Anybody can look at the posts, right?
Yep, anyone can go on there and look at everything we have on there. It's not banned or blocked for anybody. Just like we like to have the transparency. We don't want to hide anything from anyone. That way they don't think it's something different.
But can you create subreddits that only approved members could see as well if you wanted to?
Yeah. Florida Young Naturists actually have their own subreddit that they have blocked to the public, that they use to do events and stuff to plan their events in Florida and stuff.
Which is good, because if you do, even a private group or a secret group on Facebook is subject to their, blacklisting you, blocking you for posting nudity, even if it's in a private group. So if you wanted to do something on Reddit, you don't have to worry about that.
Correct. And one thing with Facebook too is, and hopefully it will change. Hopefully with Facebook, with Mark Zuckerberg did say he's going to start rolling out different kind of filters, so people who like us don't mind nudity can turn off that filter. For the people who, for religious reasons, don't want to see it, they can turn it on. So that's going to be nice with Facebook. But like I said, one of the things I really don't like about Facebook is it links their name to it, and online, and definitely with the kind of people out there. An enemy online is definitely the better way to do it. You don't get those creepy messages as much, and you don't run the risk of parents or friends stuff finding out if you don't want them to.
Can you also have private conversations with people on Reddit?
Yep. Reddit has a full friend list. They have a private messaging system. Messaging to the mod teams and stuff like that. So yeah, you can have private conversations, but we have not received a single report of any wrong messages going to any of our users.
Oh, so you haven't had to deal with that. So
no,
because often when women post on the internet in groups, they get flooded by people, asking them for pictures or that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, we don't. Since I've taken over, we haven't. At least that I know, we haven't had a single issue with it, or one that's haven't been reported. Where compared to my Facebook page, I was getting private messages from people every other day saying that they were being harassed by somebody. So I definitely think it's a lot safer of a place. And I think that, again, that has to do a lot with the demographic of people who use Reddit, with them being a younger audience. I think that kind of has something to do with it as well.
So for the listeners, what would you like them to do? What's your message to everybody who's listening today?
Just come over and check us out. We just try to be the number one place for everyone to come get their information, share stuff, discuss with other people what works for their families, where they're going, and that kind of stuff. Just come check us out and hang out and talk to people, share your experiences with everybody.
And as you become more popular, how busy are you? Can you quantify that?
Yeah, I have some stuff right here. Let me find it real quick. We have right now, we're coming up on 6,000 subscribers, but we average around 25,000 unique visitors a month and about 75,000 page views a month. So we stay fairly busy from just regular traffic on Reddit. And then the traffic in Reddit itself has room to grow as we reach out to these different subreddits and answering questions that are around them. They already have 235 million unique visitors on Reddit alone. So it's definitely a really popular place where everyone's zooming by and at least checking everything out.
So as things keep growing, do you foresee breaking this into different threads and subdividing it in a way?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why right now I'm trying to take over some of the other subreddits, like the college news. That's definitely something great for 18 to 24 or something to use. But with the activity now, we just have everyone refer to the one. But when that is we become busy, we can always just go back and open that page back up for everyone to use.
Is it okay to come and post to yours that a club somewhere is having an event and invite people to it?
Yeah, we definitely invite everyone to post events and share it with us. We have, like I said earlier, we have a full calendar on there, everything from 5Ks, all the World Naked Gardening Day, World Naked Bike Ride, and different events from all the clubs and stuff. So we definitely love to have the more information come in there, so more people can get out to the events. U.S.
only or worldwide?
Worldwide. Most of our users are from the United States and Canada, but we do have about 20% in Europe.
Oh, that's great. So are you doing this by yourself?
At this time, yeah. Our other mod team, he's busy, but life takes a hold of everyone. So right now it is mainly me, but we do get some help from time to time from some of the other mods.
So you're looking for some support or helpers and volunteers?
Yeah, definitely. If anyone's out there willing to help, we definitely can use some help with policing the place and updating it and finding the events and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's really important because I see that happening. Somebody who is very enthusiastic like you takes over, and then eventually they burn out because they're not getting any support. Everybody's consuming it, but nobody's supporting it. So they should contact you directly. How would they contact you?
They can email me at naturismisthewayforward@gmail.com, or through Reddit. They can go on, like I said, reddit.com/r/nudism. They can go scroll down to the bottom and click message the moderators, or they can click my name, which is Vascrypt. You can find that on reddit.com/u/Vascrypt, VASCRYPT, and you can send me a message.
So if you're interested in learning more about Reddit, joining it, participating in it, that'd be great. There will be a link at the end of the show notes. So you can just click right through it. Setting up a profile is super easy. This is one of the social media platforms where you don't even have to provide an email. You can be totally anonymous. So it's very, very simple, and they're not trying to find out everything they can about you. So the show notes, as always, is on the show website at naturistliving, one word, Bare Oaks, B-A-R-E, of course, bareoaks.ca, because we are in Canada. And that'll be all for this episode of the Naturist Living Show. Thank you, as always, for listening. Again, my name is Stéphane Deschênes. I'm your host of the podcast, and I make the show with the help of Sean Mitchell, who makes all this editing very easy so that I can have the time to do more episodes for you to listen to. Keep sending your comments and suggestions. You heard about in the last episode how we recorded we got a recording of an audio comment, and I'd love to include you. You just call the number 905-473-6060 or Skype us at Bare Oaks and just dial extension 333 and you can leave a comment. Or you can send an email to naturistliving@bareoaks.ca. I hope you enjoyed this latest episode and that you'll join us again for the next episode of the Naturist Living Show.
This episode of the Naturist Living Show was brought to you by Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park. Traditional naturist values in a modern setting. Traditional values means that naturism is more than just taking your clothes off. It is a life philosophy with physical, psychological, environmental, social, and moral benefits. Bare Oaks Family Naturist Park strives to promote those naturist values in a modern setting that provides the amenities and services that our members and visitors expect. Free your body, free your mind. Learn more at www.bareoaks.ca.